Je sais où vous pensez, mais
I wonder when it became explicit that what we were engaged in is a type of spiritual warfare, that secularism, rationalism, and materialism themselves are kind of godless, not even pantheistic or pagan faiths. They attempt, in fact, to obdurate the very principle of the divine. The Olympics is meant to be a ceremony of excellence. Let's look at brilliant athletes from around the world, many of whom are not that well backed or commercialized, even though it's got like basketball teams or soccer teams or well-supported, well-backed athletes. It's also got like judo experts that are toiling away in some small town. It will create great stories. Sport is one of the last meritocracies where you can see true power, true training, and real endeavor pitting their wits against one another. But also, extraordinarily now, you can see like devil worship and the extraordinary condemnation of religious liturgy, theology, and imagery that's the one thing that can pull us back from the precipice of damnation. Let's have a look at some of the key moments of that opening ceremony before analysing what the hell was going on.
Performing the song King. Costumes? None other than Louis Vuitton. J'ai jamais rien produit sur Broadway. Ça va dans sa main, ça va dans sa main, ça va dans sa main.
As a spectacle, it's sort of not that good, is it anyway? It's sort of a bit sort of humdrum and drab. Now, I'll just so you know, and I wonder what you all think, I'm pretty down with inclusivity and diversity. I think people should be able to be who they want to be, whether you've got a traditional or a progressive lifestyle, in a decentralized culture where you're not continually being cajoled and bludgeoned by a powerful state backed by commercial interests. You might choose to be a traditional Christian or a Muslim or a Jew or an atheist, and you might want to be a drag queen or whatever. It's actually no one else's business. What's extraordinary, I suppose, to me, appears to be the deliberate evocation of Christian imagery in order to what? Deride it, in order to what? Attack it, undermine it. What are the values that are being proposed here? Is it hedonism? Is it decadence? Is it individualism? Is it that the self, your own personal set of decrees, desires, and edicts are the apex and supreme hierarchy of ideologies? That there is nothing superior and supreme to which we have to surrender? Because if you let go of that, the idea that there is a supreme ulterior being that guides us all, that holds in its ethereal, metaphysical palm all reality, then how do you undergird principles that are required for us to survive? Like kindness, like service, like unity, like autonomy, individual power and freedom, like love and beauty. Where are they derived from? Mathematics? And how indeed does the deep poetry and patterns available to us in mathematics even come about without some kind of supreme intelligence? I believe that's what's behind a spectacle like this is a kind of attempt to derail the sacred and engender a kind of state of nihilism where everything might be regarded as a truth. And before you too quickly dismiss that idea, have you noted in your country, as I have in mine, the odd reversal of positions when it comes to important issues? This party is pro-free speech and anti-war. Oh, now this party is anti-free speech and anti-war. What are these peculiar inversions? How was it that when it was during the Iraq War period, it was the Republican Party that were pro-war, going to war on a lie, and during the era that we're currently living in, it's the Democrat Party that are invested in war and going to war, it seems, on the basis of a series of lies in a series of territories? Have you ever sought to interrogate what that might say about the core principles of those parties? Aren't they looking to create a thin bandwidth of cultural territory within which they can bounce about, claiming to be ideologically committed? We really care about these people's rights. We really care about the vulnerable. Remember during COVID, we care about the vulnerable. We care about the vulnerable. We have to protect the vulnerable. I don't think they care about the vulnerable. I don't think they're trying to protect the vulnerable. I think what they care about is creating chaos and division and opposition so that they can get on with their real job of coalescing and bringing together various globalist corporate interests, profiteering, dominating and generating conflagration and chaos. Certainly that seems to be what's happening. Let me know in the comments and the chats what you think about that.
Это же не все. Там водяной французской версии. Уродом продолжается.
Cacher un revolver quand on est tout nu. Je sais où vous pensez, mais c'est pas une bonne idée. Ouais.
I don't know what that's supposed to mean, and I'm not Roland Barthes or Lacan or a post-structuralist semiologist, but I would say on the basis of the headdress, that's either a reference to the crown of thorns or it's a Dionysian reference. And in much cultural analysis, the argument is made that a precursor to Christ is the god of wine in Greek mythology, Dionysus. It's definitely a pagan image, at least, and which, hey, why not? Okay, fair enough. But to insert a pagan image in Christian theology seems deliberately provocative, but it may not be. It may be that image is blue to mimic the blueness of a cadaver, and that we're being invited to consider there is at the Eucharist, the Last Supper, where Christ says, "Drink my blood, eat my flesh. This is what we do to commemorate me and commemorate my principles." That they've actually depicted Christ as a cadaverous, cannibalistic buffet, a kind of Papa Smurf Jesus for the assembled apostles to eat. That can't be their deliberate intention. I suppose I once participated in an Olympic closing ceremony, which also at the time was sort of widely ridiculed and mocked, and perhaps with good reason. Who cares? The whole thing's a lot of nonsense, let's face it. But what I also remember people saying is, what's going on, singing Come With Me on a World of Imagination on top of a bus. And I remember when I attended the meeting to discuss the events, I didn't feel like people were deliberately doing anything sort of nefarious or unusual. What I do remember is that my trousers tore at an inopportune moment, and it was pretty awkward. Furthermore, though, I will add that even if there isn't a deliberate attempt to create imagery that is offensive, what there plainly is an inertia towards nihilism, unbelief, celebration of selfishness. Celebration of selfishness, you don't have to get into conspiracy theories to unpack or understand that. If all that matters is your individual fulfillment and your individual desires, what are you primarily going to magnetize towards? Consuming, fulfilling your needs, your requirements and your desires, watching porn, eating cereals endorsed by the Kelsey brothers, downing sugar and staring at screens. That's how they want you, baby. They want you well dumb and ill-informed. But that's just what I think. Why don't you let me know what you think in the comments and the chat? We can't continue to bring you this beautiful content without the support of our partners. Are you struggling with back taxes or unfiled returns? The IRS is escalating collections, adding, get this, 20,000 new agents and sending over 5 million collection letters to kick off 2024 to spend on things that you probably don't agree with, like wars and measures and a total lack of infrastructure. In these challenging times, your best defense is Tax Network USA. Don't let the IRS take advantage of you. With over 14 years of experience, Tax Network USA have saved their clients over $1 billion in back taxes. No matter the size of your tax issue, their expertise is your advantage. They specialize in negotiating with the IRS, aiming to significantly reduce your debt. Tax Network USA doesn't just negotiate, they also protect your assets from IRS seizures and manage your yearly returns for ongoing compliance. Importantly, they are licensed to help you with all state tax issues, regardless of where you live in the United States. The clock is ticking. Don't wait as the IRS steps up its game. Seize control of your financial future now. Contact Tax Network USA for immediate relief and expert guidance. Call 1-800-245-6000 or visit taxnetworkusa.com/brand. Don't let tax issues overpower you. Turn to Tax Network USA and find your path to financial peace of mind.
We are supported by some extraordinary sponsors, but none more peculiar than this one. Can you believe 41?
Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see more uncensored content where free speech can flourish, join our live stream. Click the link right here to watch the next video if you want to, or become a member of a growing movement. Download the Rumble app and you'll be informed every time we make a new piece of content. Stay free.